In recent times, we've experienced hurricanes becoming more frequent and intense. Areas once considered 100-year flood zones are now being severely impacted, with hurricanes making landfalls at really short intervals. Hurricane Milton struck just barely 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene. So this begs the question, why are hurricanes now more frequent and intense? Let's find out. Welcome to the Sustainability Nugget podcast. I am Rarasu Maraivi.
And I'm Tosin Folorunsho.
On this podcast, we learn about sustainability by discussing various related topics while focusing on 3 pillars: the economy, the society, and the environment. I lived in Tampa from 2018 down to mid-2024 when I moved to Denver, Colorado. And during that 6 years of me living in Tampa, we really did not experience any severe hurricane. Of course, it was always hurricane season, but whenever it'll come to Tampa, it never really passed through, it just went around. We didn't really feel the impact. Okay, downtown may get flooded or the beach areas, but we didn't feel the impact in town. And like, our power was stable. If at all it goes out just for some hours and it's back. But fast forward to September, October 2024, and the story is different. Tampa was considered a safe haven. Like, there's even a local legend that said that there was an ancient spirit that protected Tampa against hurricane, that there was a dome that protected Tampa against hurricane. I usually joked about it because we always get jumped. Like, there was a time, I think 2 years ago, I was in Orlando and it was set to hit Tampa, and I was like joking with my friend saying, "Oh, I left you guys," and before you know it, it went around Tampa and came to Orlando. So that's how Tampa has been like a safe haven from hurricanes. But now, October, September 2024, story is different, as Tampa has gotten it with Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton in just 2 weeks interval. Yeah, Hurricane Milton was projected to be one of the strongest hurricanes they've seen in years and was set to hit Tampa. Although it didn't directly hit Tampa at landfall, but Tampa definitely felt the impact. Areas that had never seen flooding in Tampa around the University of South Florida, which was my former school, was flooded. The power was out for days. I make this video now and I'm not even sure if the power is back. This Tuesday, October 15th. Last I checked, it was not back on, and TICO projected to bring it up back on Thursday, which is 17th. Strange, it never happened. So this just shows even like the layman like me and you that there's something up. Something is different. Let's go to North Carolina. In Western North Carolina, that's even more surprising. The impact from Hurricane Helene, which led to flooding of this area, caught the residents off guard, as this area was not known to be flood prone. So why are these hurricanes coming more frequently and impacting areas they normally do not impact? With them impacting areas that they do not impact, they even cause more damage because these people are not prepared. So it leads to loss of lives, loss of properties, increasing financial burdens as they try to rebuild, and insurance premiums are likely to skyrocket as risk assessment is updated based on the new patterns. So why? In order for us to know why these hurricanes are more frequent and more intense, we need to understand how hurricanes are formed in the first place. So how are hurricanes formed? During the peak of summer, which is around July, the earth is positioned or tilted in a way where it receives more direct sunlight from the sun for longer periods, and the ocean absorbs most of this heat from the sun, and in like the months of August, September, it starts re-emitting it back. So let's think of boiling a pot of water. When you're boiling a pot of water, it starts evaporating the liquid into water vapor, and the air above it is moist and hot because of the water vapor. Same thing that happens with the ocean. So since the ocean absorbs all of this sunlight, all of this heat, it kind of boils. Maybe not physically, but like it heats up, becomes warm, and starts emitting ocean water into the atmosphere, and so the air above the ocean becomes hot and moist. As with hot air tends to rise up looking for cooler zones, and so this hot air above the ocean rises up to cooler zones and condenses into clouds, which forms rain, right? But like this upward movement of this hot moist air creates a low pressure system in this surface of the water that acts like a vacuum, pulling cooler air from the atmosphere, so from the north and south. And so when it pulls the cooler air, it heats up again and rises, and so the cycle continues. The hotter it is, the hotter the water is, the more water vapor it's taking up and more hot moist air, and it's like rising. So this cycle continues, and so if it's hotter, this cycle becomes faster. And you know, when it's pulling air, there's like wind, and so wind starts cycling over the water, creating clouds that forms rain. And so that's how a hurricane forms, right? And so based on the speed of that wind, it's categorized either as a tropical storm or a hurricane. So when it's faster, it's a hurricane, and that's when you see like the different categories, right? And so as it's moving with all the clouds, rain is falling and it's moving towards the land, right? Bringing all of those clouds of rain and wind to land. And so when it hits land, it causes havoc, like causing flooding, destroying properties with the wind, flooding with the rain, and that's it. Of course, when it gets to land, it's a lower speed because it's no longer over the water. But the faster it is on the sea, the higher it will be on the land. So like if it's a 5 on the sea, it might land at a 4 or a 3. But like if it's a 3 on the sea, then it cannot be above 3 on the land. Get me? If you don't understand this explanation, I'll leave links to videos from Neil deGrasse Tyson. He explains it wonderfully, and that's where I even learned it from. So yeah, why is it now more intense now? Because the oceans are warmer. A graph from NASA shows how like the ocean temperature has been rapidly rising since like the 1950s or 1960s. I'll place it over here, and this is directly related to global warming, which is the increase of temperature, average temperature of the earth due to the greenhouse effect. So this increase in average ocean temperature is directly related to global warming, which is the increase in the average temperature of the earth due to emissions of greenhouse gases, majorly anthropogenic, that leads to this greenhouse effect, letting the greenhouse gases trap it in the atmosphere and increasing the temperature. So the ocean, yes, it absorbs heat from the sun during like this big summer month, but it also absorbs the trapped heat in the atmosphere, making the ocean even hotter. So basically, as we continue to release more greenhouse gases based on all of our activities, energy, industrial activities, we make the earth warmer, therefore making the oceans hotter. And so we are prone to see more drastic weather events like Hurricane Milton, Hurricane Ellen. So how can we change this? Fight against climate change. All of the things that fight against climate change, support the policies, get informed, stop being a climate denier, like understand the science behind this. But yes, as we work together to fight against climate change, this cannot be automatically reverted because it took years to bring us up to this point, right? So what else can we do? We need to adapt. So support climate change adaptation. And how does this look like? It means places that thought they were not flood zone, places that thought they were not prone to hurricane, should actually start preparing for hurricanes, for other weather events, build stronger houses, build proper infrastructures around the city, create better evacuation plan. For example, in Tampa, at the point where they were telling people to evacuate, it was even for some people better to just stay put because the roads were blocked. Like there was traffic on the bridge with the water under them. So I believe that better evacuation plans should be created in cities that were not even prone to hurricane or weather events in the past, because we're going to be seeing more. Also, I believe that more research should be pushed into like predicting weather events like this hurricane, so that it can be predicted on time and near accuracy to make people prepare better. So as we face this new reality of more intense hurricanes, more intense weather events around the world, we need to take action both individually and collectively. So can you tell me what your thoughts about these issues are? How can we best prepare for these intense weather conditions? Do you even believe that climate change and global warming is actually the cause of these more intense hurricanes? Let me know what you think. This is a learning environment. Be respectful and just tell me your thoughts and how we can move forward. Until next time, continue to live consciously, and I'll see you in my next episode. Thanks so much for listening to the Sustainability Nuggets podcast. I am Rarsu Maribi.
And I am Tosin Folarunsho. If you enjoy this podcast, please leave a rating and review on wherever you listen to your podcast.
You can also show your support by signing up for a small donation to help sustain future episodes. You can find all relevant links in the description. See you in our next episode.